Liberation. The dictionary says it's the act of setting someone free from imprisonment, slavery, or oppression. So I think it's safe to say you get the basic understanding. You would commonly picture someone being released from some kind of facility. The first thing you're gonna think about is prison, jail, bars, like an inmate. Usually when people end up in prison or in confinement, it's because a crime has been committed, so there's punishment. They commit a crime, they do the time, and they're released. Now let's look deeper than that. The vast majority of humanity is in prison too, except they're free. Walking the earth. Their imprisonment is emotional. Emotionally in prison, mentally confined, punishing themselves or punishing someone else. Impossible to enjoy the power of the present moment, the pyramids of peace, enjoy their kids, enjoy a walk in the park, enjoy a meal, the ocean, experience love in a pure way. This emotional confinement comes from many different areas. It could be our childhood, a relationship, vices, guilt. It's really important that we understand when you have a poisonous perspective, it's gonna imprison your progress to grow. When you don't have clarity, when your thoughts are foggy, when you don't have purity flowing through your spirit, you're gonna create very uncomfortable and dangerous environments for you. You continue to feel confined. You could be driving down the freeway on a sunny day. You could be on a first-class flight. You could be at a restaurant. And you'll be emotionally imprisoned in your psychological cell, pacing back and forth in your mind with your thoughts. You're exhausted, right? Who wants to be a limited version of themselves? Who wants to coexist with another human being or in anything as a limited version of themselves? That would mean that you're accepting not to be your best. You are accepting a wounded version of yourself. You are accepting to be seen as a healthy person externally, even though you're suffocating internally. And what really keeps you safe? The decorations you put on the solitary internal confinement? Cars? Finances? Status? Being emotionally and mentally bankrupt is soul suicide. Why would you purposely participate, living the rest of your life not being the best you? Imagine if you had a deeper connection with yourself. Imagine if you were able to eliminate the repetitive behaviors. Imagine no toxicity. Imagine you feeling safe. Imagine if you didn't have so much doubt. Imagine if you were kind. Imagine if you could take a leap of faith and decide to turn your whole life around. Living the way that you always imagined. A life of peace. Surrendering to a life of purpose. Where the types of problems that you have are healthy ones, not destructive. And you're able to deal with them in a healthy way. Create a healthy universe. One that's going to create a path for you to be the absolute best you. Peace and serenity are in everybody's subconscious and conscious mind. Now what separates the conscious mind from the subconscious mind? It's the analytical mind. That's reason. We all know better. We all know what we need to do. We all know right from wrong. Usually the escape is blaming our circumstances or blaming somebody else. But the reality is that circumstances don't make us. They reveal us. The moment that we take responsibility for our life is the moment that we can gain the power to change it. We need to stop living and engaging with these defense mechanisms that only keep us stagnant. That won't allow us to grow. That won't allow us to breathe. That won't allow us to be happy. The poison never goes away. You can remove a person, but if you're still swimming in murky waters and you still have murky thoughts, you're gonna have a murky life with zero clarity on what's significant. If your parasitic and egoic mind are breathing and living for you, it'll destroy everything in your path. Things will go from bad to worse. Temporary gratification will only hijack your peace and wake you up at 3:30 in the morning, and your conscience will remind you that you're in complete violation of yourself, of your purpose, your morale, your honor. See, the difference between being fearless and being fearful is a life of fulfillment and a life of dissatisfaction. It's the simple chasm between meaning and purpose and despair and emptiness. True change and growth require action. One action leads to another, then another. Then new habits become automatic and the change becomes evident. And in time, people's reaction changes. They see you differently and you see you differently. You think differently. You move differently. You live differently. You have the right to live a prosperous life. You have the will. You have the awareness. Stop compromising yourself. Stop taking your life for granted. Stop pointing the finger at other people. When it's all said and done, there's always more said than done, right? Wrong. It really doesn't have to be that way. Love doesn't require sacrifice. We're supposed to be generous in love because we want to be, and we don't need anything in return. Loving yourself without conditions can heal the biggest divisions of your entire life. Hear that again. Loving yourself without conditions will heal the biggest divisions of your entire life. It will reconnect you with the force of energy that made your world even possible. Liberate yourself. Don't betray yourself.